Hi, welcome back to another full class in the original bar class developed by Lotte Berk. My name is Jen, and today I'm going to be leading you through another full class from warm-up all the way to cool-down. Remember that the warm-up and the cool-down stay the same from workout to workout. So once you've mastered those, you're pretty much starting and ending your workout on a very consistent note. For equipment today, you're going to need some sort of stable surface, such as a wall-mounted bar, freestanding bar, a couch, a chair, a countertop, anything that you can use to give you a little bit of stability, a little bit of leverage and support. Otherwise, you can make sure you have some water nearby and or a towel. I'll provide us with some instrumental music to get the mood going, but if you'd rather do your own playlist, please feel free to pick music that is something that's going to get you excited to get on with our workout. So I'm going to cue the music up. We'll get started with our warm-up. Alright, so let's start here with our feet slightly wider than hip distance. We want to try to keep them as straight as we can. I understand that some days that's not available and or sometimes that's not available. So really try to keep the legs nice and straight to the back. We're going to open the arms up. If you can, give me a small tilt in the waist and the back, that's fine. Otherwise, do what you can. We're going to swing down, double bounce, and come back up. So we do about 8 to 10 repetitions of all the movements throughout the workout. So keep that in mind. It's kind of a little running total in your head. Otherwise, we just kind of go with the music. See how we're feeling. And just have fun with it. Let's do one more of these. Swing down, double bounce, come up now. Open those legs wide. Again, trying to get them nice and straight. Nice flat back. Taking our gaze down to the floor and just reaching far ahead. Keeping the belly nice and tight to that spine. Again, feeling the backs of those legs stretching. Feeling the arms reaching and stretching. Now let's bring it down to the floor. Little taps round the spine. Keep the gaze through the legs if possible. Again, nice and straight behind those legs. Let's combine the two. Reach and down. Stretch forward and tap the floor. Feeling that core body temperature start to warm up. Blood flow. Let's do one more. Stack the hands one on top of the other. Come on up, over, and through the legs. This is called porpoise. I really want you to think about undulating through that spine. Feel nice and free to move through the upper body. Last one, stay down, shoot the hands through the legs. Again, trying to keep nice and straight through the backs of those legs. Now, you can grab your ankles or your shins. Grab what's available to you. Just pulse the chest toward the thighs. Again, keeping the belly button nice and tight to the spine. Feel that good stretch. Stack the hands again and now draw figure eights above those toes. Keep the hips nice and still as you undulate through that spine. Let's do one more here. I'm going to put my fingers on the ground, bend my knees slightly, walking my feet back toward each other, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head is the last thing to come on up. And we're going to bring the arms up overhead. Right hand comes into that thigh, reaching up and over. Getting that side body warmed up now. Let's come center, left hand into left thigh, reaching up and over with the right. Let's come center, grabbing onto the elbows or the shoulder blades, whatever's available, up and over to each side. I find that I get a better stretch, some better mobility if I grab onto my elbows. Just caught myself locking my knees out. You want to keep some soft knees, not locking those joints. Perfect. Let's bring the arms down to the side. And now you can bring the shoulders up to the ears. Really trying to reach down as far as you can to the side of that body. Feels good to work the sides. We are going to work them later, but we're warming them up for right now. Come center, give me some big arm circles, opening up toward the back, making sure that there's nothing or no one behind you. And opposite arm. Now we're going to do kind of a little flamenco move here. We're going to come up and over with those arms and imagine we're slapping the palms behind us. You can even get your knees involved a little bit, get the rest of the upper body involved. Really getting warmed up. Let's do one more, please. Now, keeping a soft bend in the elbows, think up and over with the hands. Little figure eights here. Keep the hands steady and imagine you're slapping the wall behind you. Feeling the pectoral muscles of the chest start to kick on. Let's make fists and we'll do little circles back. Getting everything nice and warm. Back to those hands, straight ups. I reversed some of the moves here a little bit, but that's okay. Keeps the mind working, keeps the body guessing. Let's bring the arms center so you have a soft bend near the elbows. Clapping the air here, feeling the pectoral muscles of the chest, kicking on, biceps, triceps, shoulders. Bring the hands together, bring them above, and imagine you're hitting that wall behind you. Keep that belly nice and tight. Keep the shoulders down. You don't want them creeping up toward the ears. Nice soft bend in the knees. Now let's do some bends and stretches, getting those arms nice and warm. Let's bring the hands down and give ourselves some nice big shoulder rolls. Opening up through the shoulder girdle, up through the pectorals and chest. We hit right on the end note there. Let's put our hands on our shoulders, bring the elbows together, and we're going to open them up. So we're trying to close the elbows and then open, soft bend here in those knees. We're almost done with the warm-up. Let's do one more of these. Now grabbing onto the skin here on the forearms, just pushing that skin up here. So I'm not actually moving my hands. I'm keeping them steady and imagining that I'm pushing up sleeves. Again, feeling those pectoral muscles. Let's put our hands down to the side. Take a little peek over that right shoulder. Center, left. Center, right, center, left, and then let's bring the ear, or the shoulder, the head to the ear, and the opposite. Last little move, a little semicircle, one direction, and then the other, back to the right, and the left. All right, so let's come on over to our freestanding wall-mounted bar, whatever sturdy surface you have. We're going to start our top of the thigh work. So let me get you set up here. We're going to have our legs nice and straight, hip distance apart, extending the outside leg nice and long and strong, tilting those hips forward so that we are putting less pressure here on that hip flexor. Arm comes out to the side, out to the center of the room, shoulders down and back, crown of the head to the ceiling. What we're going to do is bend, stretch, lift here. So I want you to take that leg up nice and high, pushing the weight of the opposite leg into the opposite heel. Nice and straight here with that leg, where we really want to get nice and flat behind this knee, or as flat as we can. And all we're going to do is bend, stretch, and lift it. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. So I'm trying to keep nice and tall through the center, thinking a string is coming up through the top of that head. Bend, stretch, lift. Keep on going here. Imagine we're just kind of like gently nudging a soccer ball or a ball away, or just like kicking the door shut. Bend, stretch, lift. Keep on going. We're going to just go to the end of the song, and then we're going to do little bend stretches here, trying to keep that leg up nice and high, keep that belly nice and tight. The song is taking a little sweet time, so let's just bend stretch to get ourselves ready, and then we'll catch up with the beat. Tiny bend stretches here. Now give me a happy foot, pump it up, little happy foot pumps. Hold that leg up, maybe bring the arm up, hold everything nice and flat behind that knee, relax down and stretch. Pound it out if you need to. We're going to swap sides. So same setup, opposite side. Leg comes out nice and long and strong, tilting the pelvis forward. Arm out, shoulders down and back. Lift that leg up nice and high. Bend, stretch, lift. I'm going to move my arms so you can see. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. I'm keeping that inside leg as straight as I can. Keeping the working leg as high as I can. Drawing my hip bones forward. crown of the head to the ceiling, shoulders down and back, trying to stay nice and tall as I get this work top of the thigh here. Let's do a couple more of these, and then we're going to do tiny bend stretch. Last big one, bend, stretch, lift. Now just bend, stretch here. Really feeling the lengthening of that thigh muscle and of the hamstring on the opposite side. Give me a nice, long, strong foot, happy foot here. Let's do some little happy foot pumps. Keeping that toes pointed up toward the ceiling. Back of the knee nice and flat. Just hold that leg up for me if you can. Release it down. Stretch it back. You can even give yourself a few leg swings if that helps kind of release the tension in those muscles. Whew. Back of the thigh, we're going to do good dog today. So if you don't have a really sturdy surface, just be mindful of not pulling too far back. So we're going to start with the feet squeezing together, opening up to that little pizza pie shape here. Now, you can underhand grip or overhand grip. You do want to lean back slightly here. I think I'm going to do overhand grip. Let's take that left leg around, semicircle it back, tilting those hips forward. We're going to lift that leg back up into the hip socket. Again, drawing those hip bones forward. We're just going to wrap. Inside leg can have a soft bend. And I'm just wrapping my leg around, as if wrapping it around a tree. Keeping my head to the ceiling, my shoulders traveling down the back, feeling the work in the glutes and in the hamstrings. So it's a really tiny move here. Now just keep it back and just do little lifts here. So I'm keeping my leg back, keeping my hip bones forward, keeping that slight tilt in the hips, soft bend in the standing leg, little pumps. Woo, just feeling the motions really small and intentional here. Now let's bend, straighten that leg, give me a happy foot, little pumps. Using that inside leg to stabilize, keeping my core nice and tight also for stability. Little happy foot pumps. Now let's just hold this last one here. Maybe bring the hands to prayer for balance challenge. And release down, shake it out. Let's do the opposite side here. Okay, setup is the same. Feet are going to come together. Tiny pizza pie shape. Hip bones forward. Semicircle that leg around, making sure everything is pointing toward that stable surface. Lifting the leg up and just wrapping. So think up and over around that tree trunk. Shoulders down and back, crown of the head to the ceiling. And as I bring my leg around, I'm thinking about squeezing my glutes and keeping a lot of tension in that hamstring that's working. Stabilizing leg has a soft bend in it, keeping that knee safe. Keeping the core nice and tight, not losing that nice belly contraction. Nice and tight through the middle here. Let's do a couple more. Now just lift up. So I'm keeping the shape of my leg the same, just doing lifts toward the ceiling. Pump it up. Feel the glute, feel the hamstring, and feeling the stabilizing leg supporting me. Few more little pumps up, then we're gonna get ready and happy foot. Pump, pump, pump. Just a couple more. Pump, pump. Now straighten the leg, happy foot. Pump, pump. Keeping it nice and straight behind that knee. Really thinking of being nice and long and tall here in the positioning. Few more. Pump, pump. Last two. Hold that happy foot. Maybe bring the hands to prayer for balance challenge. Relax down and shake it out. Beautiful job. So now we are going to do inside out. So let's do, this leg has to go first. So I want you to work with the left leg first. We're going to bring this right arm around, like a, oh, actually I was right the other way. Like a seat belt, okay? And this other arm's going to lift up and over. The left leg, or the opposite leg of what you just worked, is going to stick out straight. Just relax it a tiny bit in that hip socket. This leg is going to try to stay nice and straight as well. All we're doing is just tapping the floor. I feel myself having to bend the inside knee. That's okay. I don't want to lock that knee out, especially since this is a very little support. So if you're against the wall with a bar, you might be able to straighten that inside leg a little bit more because you have a little bit more support. So try to lean over a little bit more, feeling the waist. Now just go up, little ups here. Really controlling the movement. If you can go at my pace, great. Faster, feel free. Slower, do what you can do. I want you to feel the outside thigh working here. Pump up. Now bend, stretch. Really get a good stretch. Really get a good point through that toe. Trying to keep our lean and that tension in the waist as the opposite side stretches. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Just a couple more. Stretch, stretch. Give me a happy foot. Just hold. See if you can lean over as you lift that leg a little higher. Hold the pose. Relax down. Give yourself a stretch. So this was very tense in a contraction while this side was stretching. Now we're going to do the opposite. Okay. So arm comes across like a seatbelt. This arm is over. This leg points straight out from the hip. Just relax it a little bit in that hip socket. So it's a tiny bend behind that knee. Just start with little taps. If you're, like I said, if you're against something with a little more stability, try to keep that inside leg nice and straight. Otherwise, if I do, I'm going to lock my knee out, and I don't want to do that. So this little bar here doesn't provide a lot of support, which is great because it helps me with my core strength, but I need to be mindful of the other areas of my body that are working. Now let's just do little ups. Feel the stretch on the side that's leaning over, and then feeling the contraction on the waist of the working leg. All right, so we're gonna get ready and do our bend stretch. Really stretch it, little bend. Give me a nice strong stretch. If you can't keep up with the music tempo, that's fine. I just want you to get that stretch. Feel that length, really pointing through that toe. Leaning over, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Just be mindful of your body position. Let's do a couple more here. Now happy foot and just hold and lean over. See if you can come up and over a little more. Relax down. Give yourself a stretch. So, let's come down to the floor for genies, which is going to work the tops of the thighs again. This is our kneeling position. Grabbing a quick sip of water if you need to. So, we're going to start with the knees nice and wide. This helps protect the knees. Think ears, shoulders, and hip bones all in alignment. Stacking the arms, rise above your heels slightly, and just go in and out. Drawing the hip bones forward and back. We call it in, out. Remember, ears, shoulders, hips all in alignment. Just a slight hover above those heels. Feeling the tops of those thighs. In, out, in, out, in, out. Hold the in, up, down, up, down. So it's nice and slow and controlled, right? Anytime you need to take a break, reset your form, and come back, please do so. Otherwise, we're just going to try to stay in this little hovered position, keeping everything in line. Let's bring the arms up and lift and lower. Up, down. The music's getting a little slower. Maybe it'll pick up here. The slower the motion, the harder it is. So we want to try to keep the beat with the music. Oh, here we go, a little quicker, because it's a tiny bit of a break here. All right, now let's go. Hip, 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 hip. Keep the hover, keep the ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment, really reaching through the arms. Hip, hip, hip. We're going to keep on hip, hip. Let's go 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, 2 right, 2 left, 2 right, 2 left. Come center. Keep the hips still. Move the arms back. Little back and forth, back. Now let's see if we can go, just move the arms. Keep the hover. Move the arms. The hover. Now see if we can come up and down. So try to do the legs and the arms at the same time. Otherwise, just do the arms. Let's do one more each side. Hover, hold everything, stretch through the arms, hover through the legs, come on down and pound it out. Time for a stretch. Let's bring that right leg in, left leg nice and long, and I want you to rotate that ankle in one direction. Nice and tall through that spine, the ankle comes in the opposite direction. Swap legs. Woo, feel the heart rate up. Those genies always get my heart rate up. Roll the ankle the opposite way. Let's bring the legs nice and long and strong. Happy feet. Lift and lower the heels, feeling the tops of the thighs stretch as your knees are naturally brought to the ground in this position. And now let's point, happy, point, happy, point, happy. One more, point, happy. You can bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly, and you can flap your butterfly wings or just hold and think nose to toes, whatever works for you. All right, my friends, we are going to move on to some pelvic floor work. So I'd like you to cross your legs, and we're going to work on the pelvic floor muscles, which are those muscles that we use to stop the flow of urine or gas. So there are 4 points I want you to concentrate on. We have our 2 hip bones, our pubic bone at the front, and our tailbone at the back. So just relax everything, close your eyes, and just melt into the floor as we go through this little visualization. I want you to imagine that you have elevator doors on your sits bones, left and right. Draw those doors nice and close, squeeze them tight, and let's start on our elevator ride up. We're gonna go up 1 and hold, up 2 and hold, up 3 and hold, up 4 and hold, up 5 and hold. And now let's start descending down. 4, 3, 2, 1. At the bottom, release and relax. Open the doors there and let everything go. Okay, so now let's imagine a zipper, and it's attaching the tailbone to the pubic bone. Let's zip it up. Zip it up to the belly button and hold. Up to the heart and hold. Up to the throat and hold. Up to the crown of the head and hold there. Let's hold nice and tight. Let's unzip that zipper halfway. Pull all the way up to the top and hold. Unzipper it halfway again. Pull all the way up to the top and hold. And unzip it all the way down to the bottom. Completely disengage. Last little exercise, I want you to imagine that all 4 points of your pelvic floor are getting on that elevator. Close the doors up tight. We're going to go up 1, up 2, up 3, up 4, up 5, up 6, up 7, and up the penthouse and out through the top of the building. Come back down for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Completely disengage those doors from one another and let everybody off the elevator. All right, let's work on backside Hello Sailor today. So we're going to start in our Hello Sailor position. So it's where the knee, and foot are all in alignment here. We want to push this hip back so that it's behind this hip bone or further, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways we can do the arms. They can both be on the floor, one can be on the hip, and eventually we want to get here. That's the highest level. So just to start, all we're going to do is rotate the hip bone in the socket. My leg naturally is coming off the floor, so I'm not making this move just yet. Okay, so if you want to do the hand here, and if you want to progress hand here, it's fine. You do what works for you. It took me a while to get to this point, and sometimes I like to start in position 2 and then move to position 3 once I get my bearings. So we're feeling the work in the hip and in the back here. Now I want you to hold, push your knee into the floor, and now just pump the foot up. So now we're intentionally pumping that foot here. Little pumps. Feeling the work in the waist and in the back of that leg. Little pumps. Pump, pump, pump. Just hold. Release down. Give yourself a little stretch. Let's try to do that again. Another set of those, okay? So another set of pumps. Really focusing on the waist. Keeping the shoulders down and back. Think crown of head to ceiling. Really feeling that pump. 4, 3, 2. Now hold. See if you can lift that leg off the floor and hold it up. Relax down and stretch through the waist. Let's go to the other side now. We're gonna have our knee, foot on alignment. Try to push this leg back a little bit if you can so that the knee is coming behind this hip, okay? Same thing, just start in this position where we're just rolling the hip in. So it feels good on the waist to mobilize that area. And again, my foot is naturally coming off the ground because I'm moving. So you can put both hands on the floor. That's level 1. One hand on the hip is level 2. And finally, level 3. Now, I have less mobility in this side when I put my hand up. That's okay. I'm feeling the work in the waist and in the back of the leg. As long as you're feeling it where you should, you'll just keep progressing from there. All right, now, keep the knee on the floor, pump the foot back up. And sometimes on this side, I do need to support myself on the ground, just because this side I have, like I said, less mobility. So we're just keeping the knee on the ground, pumping that back foot. See if we can hold it up and relax down. Give ourselves a little stretch here. We're gonna do those pumps again, and then we're gonna see if we can lift that leg off the floor too. All right, nice deep breath, pump it up. Eventually we'll progress, but this is probably one of the hardest moves in the entire class, and I'd rather you get the form and the feeling before we really start progressing. Feeling the waist, feeling the back of the leg, into the glute. Few more pumps, hold. See if you can lift the leg up and hold. And relax down, stretch. Let's do a little waist stretch here. That's gonna work the abs as it stretches our side. Back into helical position. Right hand's gonna travel down the right leg. Left arm is gonna go up and over, and we're gonna travel the right arm down toward the right foot here. So we're getting some waist stretching and some waist work. Now grabbing onto the wrist and doing our little pumps over. And we can hold here for a second. Let's do the other side. So hello sailor position on the other side. My left hand is traveling down my left leg as I reach up and over. Feeling a nice stretch on the right and some work in that left oblique area. And now I'm going to grab onto my wrist, again leaning over, little pumps to the side, and then a little hold, and we're going to release and relax. All right, let's do some calf and floor work. Let's get up onto our down dog position. Give a good stretch to the backs of those legs. Bend the knees, walk the feet to hands, hands to feet, whatever works for you. Slowly roll up to stand, and we're gonna grab our steady surface again to work the calves and the backs of the legs. What do I wanna do here? We're gonna start with our feet in our pizza pie position, opening up to that little pizza pie position, squeezing everything through the back of the body. We're gonna come on up to the toe, up to the heels, off the ground onto the toes, floor off. So off, floor off. I am jumbling my words today, I apologize. Keeping everything nice and straight, crown of the head to the ceiling. And we have our hip bone shining forward. We're feeling the work up the back here. And now let's do little ups, just pumps. We're not coming all the way down. Feeling the heat start building in the calves, up the backs of the legs. Now let's do a combo here. Ready? We're going to go half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor, off. Good. Half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor, off. Half, up, floor. Stay up top, little pumps. Then we're going to do book on the head next. So I want you to bring your feet, your heels all the way down, bend your knees out to the side, lift the heels off the ground, down, up. So here we imagine we have a book on our head. We're just lifting and lowering the heels, starting to feel the thighs kick in, because we are getting ready to do some serious thigh next. Up, down, keeping hip bones forward. Now just keep the heels up. Give me little pulses down as we start serious thigh. We're going to stay in this position here for a moment. Just hold it down. Give your legs a stretch. And we're going to do feet and legs together for serious thigh today. So you can stand facing your bar or you can stand to the side. It's up to you. So I want you to seal everything up from the heels up through the backs of those legs, okay? You're going to come up onto the toes if you can. Otherwise you can stay flat-footed. Hand comes out to the side. We're just going to start with in and out with the pelvis. So bring the hip bones in, out, in, and I want you to be in the work zone here, right? So the thighs should be kicking on as far as a little bit of tension, a little bit of burning. If it's too much to be up on the heels, you can in and out with flat feet too. See what your body offers. Today my legs are a little bit wobbly. All right, stay with the pelvis neutral. And I just want you to go side, side, like we're hula dancing. Bring the hips right and left. Neutral spine, meaning we're not overly arched or tilted in either direction. Shoulders down the back, so you can come a little lower. And side, side, side. Now we're going to do a knee twist. So in, out with the knees. So I'm going to bring my heels down today. And so I'm going to go a little quicker with this. If you were up higher, you could go slower. But I want you to feel the work in the work zone. Feel those thighs on fire. Twist, twist. Stay center, open, close. And you can be up on the heels too, up on the toes too. Really think about opening and closing, squeezing the inner thighs together. Shoulders traveling down the back. Think about what you're doing. Keep the breathing steady. Keep the motion nice and slow, control. Put the heels down, we're gonna come down, stretch up. Feel the release in the thighs. Down, stretch up. One more, down, stretch up. Little combo here, so just gonna go in, out, down, up. In, out, down, up. I'm gonna put my heels down. In, out, down, up. In, out, down, up. In, out, down, up. In, out. And now you can be up on the toes, it's up to you. Today, that's just not available for me. My legs are kind of giving out. In, out, down, up. In, out, down, up. In, out, stay down. Open, close the knees. Open, close, open, close, open, close. See if you can do it double time. Open, close, open, close. Open, close, open, close. One more set. Open, close, open, close. Close everything, hold it down. Come a little lower if you can. And come on up. Give those legs a shake and a stretch. We're going to do a nice 90-degree L stretch over our sturdy surface here. Trying to get nice and straight behind those legs. Bring the hands down to the floor. You can bend one knee and straighten the other leg. Opposite, bend and straighten. Bend both knees. Slowly roll up to stand. We're going to stretch. Inhale, exhale. Bringing one leg up and over our sturdy surface here. And we're going to come down. Now you can keep the legs straight. You can bend and stretch. Or you can do little fold-overs. You do what works for you in the stretch. I kind of like to do a little bit of all three of them. And then give myself a nice stretch here and hold it. Inhale up. Exhale, bring that leg back. Let's get the quadriceps. So I'm pulling my foot back as I draw my hip bones forward. Feeling a nice stretch in the top of the leg. Opposite side. Inhale, exhale, over. We're going to exhale over and do our little bend stretches. Or just a hold or fold over. Just feeling a nice stretch to the back of that leg. Standing leg is directly under the hip. Inhale up, exhale, bring that leg behind you. You can dance or pose this if you want to. Otherwise, I'm just doing a nice little quadricep stretch, drawing my hip bone forward as I pull my foot back. And feeling a nice stretch through those legs. One more little L stretch here. And bend the knees, come on up. Let's go into some abdominal work here. All right, so I'm gonna bring my little bar down. We're going to start with feet under the bar. or against the wall or on a chair. Whatever you do, I just want you to maintain stability through the lower half, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put my feet here. We wanna make sure we have just a little bit of a bend behind those knees. Bring the arms up overhead so you might feel your low back lift up. Draw the low back down into the ground. Inhale up, exhale, fold over, tilt and grip here. I want you to reach the arms long and strong. We're gonna lift up, switch the arms, lift. Switch the arms, lift. So my gaze is over my belly button. My feet are staying nice and planted firmly here. Low back is against the floor. Switch the arms, lift. Switch the arms, lift. Switch the arms, lift. If this becomes too much on the back of the neck, put your hands behind your head and just lift. 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 Why don't everybody put their hands behind their head, and we're just going to do some little fold overs. Lift. 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 Keep going. Lift. Lift. Now keep high in the lift. Close. Open the elbows. Close. Open. Keeping the gaze over the belly button. Keeping the low back on the ground. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Now just fold. 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 Getting the abs. Keeping the low half flat. Fold. Fold. And hold. Bring those shoulders up nice and high. Relax down, and you can roll in and out through that spinal area. So low back is up off the ground now. Draw it down back into the floor. Arms come right above the head. Gaze is at the ceiling. And we're just going to lift, lower, lift, lower. Keep that low body, the lower half of the body nice and straight. Lift, lower, lift, lower. I'm going to bring my feet up a little more. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower. Hold here, hands behind the head. Just little lifts up. Gaze up at the ceiling, low back on the floor. Lift lower, keep on going. Lift lower, lift lower. Put arms back up. Let's do arm walks. Keeping the gaze at the ceiling, keeping the low back down. You can always bring the hands behind the head if this becomes too much. Keep the arms back and just lift. My gaze is still at the ceiling. My lower back's still on the floor. I'm working through this. If it ever becomes too much, stop, reset your form, join me. And hold everything up. Relax down. Roll in and out through the waist. All right, time for waist whittlers. I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer to me. Whoops. All right, waist whittlers, we're going to start with that low back on the ground. We're going to tilt and grip again. Now remember with waist whittlers, we're just moving a little bit through here. I'm going to cross my hands over my chest, twist left, right. Low back is on the floor, gaze over my belly button and fold over. Twist, twist, twist. Just like I'm in a tube, can't move. Twist, 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 twist. Twist, center, and little fold up. Little pulses up, up, up. We're going to do one more set of twists. Ready? 4, 3, 2, and twist. Twist, 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 twist. Last little set. From center and hold. Relax down. Bringing the feet with you. Stretch the arms, roll in and out. We're going to do elephants now. So your feet are down. The low back is nice and drawn back toward the floor. Lift and grip. Hands come behind the head. 12 successive lifts, never coming back down. Ready? Looking at the belly button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those elbows are wide. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bring the heels together. Bring the arms around. Shoot through the thighs. Gaze over the belly button, low back on the floor. Let's do one more, hold it up, and relax down. Bringing the knees to one side if that works for you. Keeping center. or coming to the other side. Feel a nice stretch. I usually get a little spinal adjustment there. Pushing ourselves up onto our side. We're going to move that out of the way and we're going to get ready for our sardines. We're going to do our sardines starting in a nice C curve position here, nice and tall through the back. Let's roll down so head, neck, and shoulders are off the floor here. And we're just going to start with our arms in prayer. And we're going to come up with the shoulders, hold them steady, open, close, fold. Open, close, fold. Open, close, fold. Open, close. So I'm looking at my belly button and I'm just opening, closing, and folding. Open, close, fold. Open, close, fold. One more. Open, close. Now just fold. If this becomes too much, you can always bring the hand behind the head. It's the same motion, it's just supporting the neck. So a little fold, 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 hold the fold. See if you can reach the arms out as if you're trying to touch the wall in front of you. Relax down, roll in and out. Get ready for some fold overs again. We're going to tilt and grip. Bring the right hand behind the head. Left hand is going to reach forward. We're keeping our gaze at the belly button. We're keeping the low back down. We can even extend the right leg out if we want to challenge our abs just a little bit here. And now let's do the other side. Left hand comes behind the head. Right hand is going to extend forward. Gaze at the belly button. Low back on the floor. You can even lift that left leg if you want to progress the move just a little bit. Hold center. Bring both arms forward and dance them out. Keeping the gaze over the belly button still. Trying to keep pace with the music. Little dancey arms. Dance, dance. Relax down. Give yourself a chance to roll in and out. One more little set here. Roll that low back down onto the ground. Give yourself some room here. I want you to open the arms wide. We're going to open, close, and jump up. Ready? We're going to hold this jump position, keeping the head, neck, and shoulders off. Open, close, jump up. Open, close, jump. Open, close, jump. My gaze is at the ceiling. Open, close, jump. Open, close, jump. Open, close, jump. One more. Open, close, jump. Just little prayer, arms up. You can bring the legs up to tabletop if you want to progress. And just hold here. Release everything down. Lengthen it all out. Nice and long and strong. I kind of like to roll through my middle here. Let's bring the heels together in a nice long diamond. We're going to bring the head, neck, and shoulders up. Just shooting through those legs again. Keeping the low back on the floor. And let's just hold here. And relax down. Give ourselves a nice stretch through the middle yet again. Let's do one more set of those, except this time we're going to do some oblique work. So I'm bringing my heels together again in long diamonds, circling it around, and we're going to go left, center, right, center, left, center, right, center, left, center, right, left, center. I got my directions mixed up. Just go side, center, side, center, side, center, hold to the right. And I want you to bring your left hand behind your head, and your right hand is pointing out. Come center, go to the left, little ups. Right hand comes behind the head, left hand to the side. And now come center again. Pump it up. And hold. Relax down. Stretch. Ooh, that middle is on fire here. Bring the knees into the chest. Roll up to a seated position. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sweep. I'm going to grab a sip of water before we move into our escapes and no escapes. All right, let's do some escapes. So If you have a bar, you're one hand distance away. Hands are pushing up into that bar, and your shoulders and back are against the wall. If you're here on the floor with me, we're gonna bring our hands here by our thighs, sitting up nice and tall, even with a slight lean in that back, okay? We're just gonna start with a march. So I want you to happy the foot. Everybody is just gonna march nice and straight through the backs of those legs. So this works low abs, so feel everything nice and tight in the low abdominal region, and it works top of thighs because we're keeping those legs nice and straight. Lift and lower, march. March. Everybody's doing this. There's no level 1, level 2 right now. Let's do one more each side. Now, single leg. We're going to have a slight bend here. We're going to stretch, bend, lift. Stay on the same side. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, and lift. 5 more. 5, 4, 3. Really get a good stretch. 2, and 1. All right, let's do the other side. Soft bend in the knee. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Almost halfway there. Stretch, bend, lift. 5, lift. 4, lift. 3, lift. 2, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. All right, shake those legs out. Now we're going to do bend, stretch, lift. So I want you to have nice and straight pointing through those legs. Ready? You got a nice straight leg. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend. 10 on each side. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend, lift. 5 more. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend. Last 3. Stretch, bend, lift. Stretch, bend. Last 1. Stretch, bend, lift. Other side, we're going to do single, and then we're going to do alternate. Okay, ready? Nice soft bend. Stretch, bend, lift. Sorry, we're starting straight. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's see if we can do both legs at the same time. Level 1, nice and straight. You're going to just roll on the floor. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Okay, if you're up against the wall, I want you to do 10 no matter what. We're going to stay up. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, lift. Bend, stretch, 3 to go. Bend, stretch, last 2. Bend, stretch, last 1. Bend, stretch, lift. See if you can hold it nice and strong. Relax down and bring those legs in. Give yourself a teeny tiny stretch. Nice deep breath in. All right, let's try some shimmies actually here. So same position, shimmy. We're gonna do happy feet. Now level 1 would be just walking. Okay, level 2, we're up off the floor. We're gonna go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake the legs out. Again, you're feeling the work in the lower abs and in the tops of the legs. For no escapes, if you are against the wall, I want you to push your bottom all the way against the wall. Head and neck and shoulders are going to come off as you push up. If you're on the floor here with me, you're going to bring a C-curve into the spine, pushing the weight of your hands into the floor, lined up with your knees. We're going to do Sarah's. Let me show you level 1 and level 2. I'll just turn my body slightly. Okay. Sarah's are starting with a pointed foot. We're just going to bend, stretch 1, and then we're going to bend, stretch 1, bend, stretch 2. So we're going to move up to 5. So it's bend, stretch 1, bend 1, bend, stretch, 2, bend, stretch, 3, all the way up to 5, all right? So let's see if we can try to do both feet up. If you're on the floor, you're going to bend, stretch 1, bend, stretch 2, bend, stretch, 3. Up here, we're going to go to 5. 1, bend, stretch, 2. Bend, stretch, 3. Bend, stretch, 4. Bend, stretch, 5. Bend, stretch, I think I did the counting wrong on that. Let's try that again if you want. Ready? We're gonna bench stretch 1, bench stretch 1, 2, bench stretch 1, 2, 3, bench stretch 1, 2, 3, 4, bench stretch 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax down. And give yourself a stretch. You get a little extra no escapes work there. All right, nice stretch. We're gonna come down to the floor for tummy time. So tummy time is on our bellies. The setup is nice and straight through the backs of those legs. We're going to stack one hand on top of the other, resting the forehead down. We're gonna have the pubic bone on the ground and with the tailbone, pulling the abs up and away from the floor. All we're gonna do is start lifting and lowering each leg. So I'm gonna keep my head up, yours is down. Lift and lower, one leg at a time. So if you wanna try to float them off the ground as you do so, just lift, 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 lift. Or you can keep the thighs a little bit more on the ground, depending on what you're doing. But the goal is to float them off and just lift and lower one at a time to start. Keep the tailbone, the pubic bone heavy, hip bones heavy, abs up and away from the floor. Now see if you can draw them together at the same time, lift and lower. This is good for low back. Strengthening as well. All right, so now let's work outer thighs. Open the legs slightly and just push out here. So feeling the outer thighs working as you're just squeezing or pushing your legs out to the side. And now squeeze them in, get inner thighs. Now bring the legs together, little bend stretches here. Little bend stretch, it's a tiny, tiny move. You may feel like you're barely moving at all. Little bend stretch. Reach, really stretch through the backs of those legs. Feel the hamstrings, feel the calves, lower back, abs up and away from the floor. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Hold everything long and strong. Start paddling the feet. Maybe bring the head and hands off the ground and float those. Maybe draw those arms out in front. And you can start moving hands and feet at the same time and swimming your way to the finish. Keep going. Let's do a few more. Now hold everything long and strong. Reach to the fingers, reach to the toes. Relax down. Bring the arms to the side of the body. Draw your legs together. Pushing your hands into your thighs. Feel the triceps engage. Lifting the chin and nose off the floor. Relax down. Let's do that again. Push the hands into the side. Lift the head off the floor slightly. Last one. Push the hands into the side. Lift the head off. Maybe lift the legs up. And maybe bring the arms out in a flight and just hold. Relax everything down. Push yourself back into child's pose for me. And we're going to start our final stretches. I'm just going to put something on that the music is a little less peppy. All right. So we are in child's pose. Push yourself up onto all fours. I want you to inhale, arch up. Exhale, hollow out. Inhale, arch up. Exhale, hollow out. One more. Inhale, arch up. Exhale, hollow out. Rest your bottom onto your heels. Bringing your knees together, hands by the knees, lifting the knees off the ground ever so slowly and slightly, stretching the top of the feet. Bring those legs around, sit in a nice straddle position for me. Happy feet, using your arms behind you to push a nice flat back, pushing yourself forward, feeling the inner thigh stretch. Round down and crawl here, rounding the head, neck, and shoulders, reaching the arms forward, crawling to that oasis. Now just reach everything forward as if you're pushing away, rolling the pastry here. And we're gonna inhale up, exhale. We're gonna turn to the right leg, right arm comes behind the back, left hand comes over. Now you can just hold the stretch or you can do little fold overs. Reaching for those happy feet. Come center here, inhale, exhale. Left hand comes behind the back, right hand comes over the left leg. Reaching for those feet. Come center, inhale up, exhale, come forward. We're going to go to the left. Left hand comes on the inside of the left ankle. Right arm and chest open up toward the ceiling. Inhale, sweep, and open to the opposite side. Feel a nice stretch. Inhale, sweep, open. Inhale, sweep, open. Come center, bring those feet together. Inhale, up, exhale, fold. Inhale, up, exhale, little C curve back. Inhale, up, exhale, fold. Inhale, up, exhale, C curve. Last one, we're going to hold. Inhale, up, exhale, fold. See if you can fold even more. Really get a nice stretch through those legs. And let's come on down to our back in a bridge here. So my feet are hip distance apart, my legs hip distance apart, my heels are touching my fingertips here. We're going to bring the arms up overhead. We're going to lift the hips to the sky. Feel a nice stretch to the front of those legs. Dive the tailbone down and lift the hips up. Dive the tailbone down and lift the hips up. One more time. Dive the tailbone down and lift the hips up. Bring the tailbone down to the floor, knees coming to chest, rolling up through the spine here, pushing the hands into the shins. Last move here, cross the ankles, hands come behind the head, leave the head, neck, and shoulders, bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to opposite side, bring the knees into the chest. One more time, rolling like a ball up to seated position. I would like to thank you so much for joining me. That was your full class, in the full original bar class developed by Lotte Berk and back in the 1960s. It's meant to lengthen as it simultaneously strengthens, leaving you feel energized and not depleted by the end. So thanks so much for joining me here today for another full class. I hope you feel fantastic. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you back here again sometime soon. Take care. Thanks. Bye.